Last week at the Rockingham Motor Speedway, we had an excellent race over in England, seeing Andrew Miller go to victory lane for the third time of this season. A great battle between him, Matt Tuck, Stuart Gratton, Rogel Dorn. They were all up there, and guess what? This championship battle is closer than it has been nearly all season long. Blaine Keys only has a 31-point lead, and he will leave tonight the points leader. But if Rogel Dorn wins and Blaine Keys doesn't get any points, we got ourselves a 6-point gap going into the Coca-Cola Super Speedway on Wednesday. We're here at the racetrack that hosted the finale last year, and this year it's going to host the 21st race of the season. Only 5 races remain until we crown a champion on Christmas Eve. We're here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Georgia 100K, 41 very quick laps around one of our favorite mile-and-a-half racetracks on the circuit. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final 5th of the season to commence. Here we are for race 21 of the BodyArmor Pro Series season, and we're going to have a lot of fun here on this Friday night. And of course, Wednesday night we got ourselves the Coca-Cola Super Speedway leading up to the Thanksgiving 500 next week, and tomorrow we got the Truck Series here from Atlanta. We're going to have a lot of fun with a lot of the races coming up here. One of our favorite weeks of the year here on the channel. Always a lot of great racing action. And joined alongside the guy who runs the Turkey Hill Truck Series, Caleb Rose. And of course, we're going to see this racetrack in action tomorrow for the Truck Series drivers. But we anticipate a very quick racetrack here tonight. These guys are going to be going upwards of 210 miles per hour on the straightaways. They do have to slow down in the corners. But with that, these guys have a little bit of difficulty making passes, and they really stay in line. We saw this race last year. Dylan Matthews led nearly every single lap en route to her race victory in this one. What do you give Leonard Kochmer in his opportunity and getting this race victory and dominating here at Atlanta?
Definitely going to be interesting to see how this race ends up going down. Like you said, a very fast racetrack, very technical racetrack. Playing a lot difficult at this racetrack than it does at some others to make passes, but it usually makes for some very interesting and very fun racing. And kind of just with the technicality of this track, we really see the cream rise to the top, which is kind of perfect, for a series such as this and a time such as this, getting close to the end of the season. Of course, this track played host to the finale last year, but still going to be interesting to see how this race will play. Yeah, definitely had a lot of interesting developments last week. Keys still holds the points lead, still has a little bit of a cushion, but if that does happen again, that cushion is going to be absolutely eviscerated. So he's on relatively thin ice right now, so needs to try and get that momentum back going, needs to try and point some more if he does want to try and hang on to that championship lead, because the drivers behind him in points, Rogel Dorn, Stuart Gratton, they've been turning on the Jets as of late. So this championship battle could definitely get very, very interesting as we get into these final couple races of the season, but I'm excited to see how this race plays out here tonight. Should definitely be a lot of fun here on a Friday night here under the lights here from Atlanta.
Absolutely, and of course 2 weeks from now we got another Friday night race in Martinsville. We got a Wednesday night race leading into the Thanksgiving 500. Got a lot of great racing coming up here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. And it's going to be a fun championship battle at this rate, because Blaine Keys has been bleeding in this points, and he's been the points leader literally the entire season. Nobody else has been atop the points all season long since we started back in January. He won the first race at South Boston. He won the second race at New Smyrna. He won the third race at Daytona. That was his last win in this series, and he's gotten a decent amount of points since then, but since August, he's gotten absolutely nothing. The last time Blaine Keys pointed in the BodyArmor Pro Series was at Milwaukee back in August, and he has gone over 2 months without any points in this series. Still 189 points for Blaine Keys. That's 31 points ahead of Rogel Dorn, who has found himself in a lot of great positions throughout the past couple of months. He does start a little bit deeper in the field than he would like, but we know how good of a driver Rogel Dorn is. And if he wins this race here today, he's going to be within a race win worth of points and Blaine Keys guaranteed. So things get really interesting if Dorn wins here tonight. Things get really interesting if Stuart Gratton wins here tonight. And he had a great run last week at Rockingham. Actually was leading the early part of the race, fell back, and then came back through. Almost beat Rogel Dorn, almost got a podium finish, but lost it at the end there. Finished 5th. He's only 43 points behind. Ladovic Charette got wrecked out at Rockingham last week, and she's 49 points behind. And our last winner, Andrew Miller, is 51 points behind. Watch out for Andrew Miller. He's got an opportunity of being the first driver to win 4 races this season. And we've been going through nearly the entire season with a driver having the opportunity to win their 4th win of the season. And Blaine Keys has been that driver and has not been able to go to victory lane since Daytona back in February. So we'll see what he can do here tonight as he starts there in the 13th position. Definitely going to be a very, very fascinating race here tonight from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Leonard Kochmer and Nicholas Sambidio start on the front row. Row number 2 sees Stuart Gratton and Matt Tuck. Of course, those two guys have been very strong as of late. Matt Tuck won 2 weeks ago at Zen Joltis, and he finished runner-up last week at Rockingham. He's still very much in this championship fight. Same with Andrew Miller, only 51 points behind to the inside of Carson Miller there in row number 3. Jack Haas and Sergio Alonso in row 4. Ace Garcia and L.J. Cimento round out the top 10 starting positions. Blaine Keys starts there in the 13th position. Rogal Dorn starts in 14th. And Ludovic Stretz starting all the way back in the 22nd position. But this is one of those racetracks where if you are a good enough driver, you're going to find yourself up front. Only a 24-car field, only 41 laps. Let's see how it all goes down here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway here in the Georgia 100K. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here from Atlanta. And Caleb, I'm going to ask you the age-old question. Who's going to victory lane here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Definitely quite the technical racetrack here from Atlanta, so I think you might see a runner come from the first couple of rows. Anything can happen, though. We'll just have to see. But honestly, I think I might be eyeing that number 35 of Stuart Gratton. Had a good run at Rockingham, closed that gap up to Blaine Keys. He's still 43 points behind, but a win to really project himself up there in that hot championship battle, especially if Keys does fail the points again. I'd keep my eye out on that number 35 of Stuart Gratton here tonight.
We'll just have to see if the 35 can find himself back in victory lane. Only one win this season. Came at Hillside back in May. But he has been very consistent. As a matter of fact, nobody has pointed in more races this season than Stuart Gratton. He's pointed in 15 of the 20 races we have had. So he has finished top 10 75% of the time. And that consistency may just award him a championship, which would be pretty big for Stuart Gratton. And we'll see if he decides to return to the series next year. I'd love to have him back because he's been an excellent addition to the series, and he has put on a great show for all these fans of the BodyArmor Pro Series. Leonard Kochmer and Nicholas Sambidio on the front row here tonight. And we're underway here in the 21st race of the season at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. A pretty even start there for Leonard Kochmer and Nicholas Sambidio. We're going to see a little bit of different racing than what we're going to see tomorrow. These guys, because there's just so much grip, it's a cool night here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. These guys tend to not cycle near as much as they do during the daytime. And Nicholas Sambidio is going to try to defy what I just said right there as he tries to move to the inside of Leonard Kochmer. Not enough momentum there for the 48 to get that run. Here comes Stuart Gratton as well in the 3rd position, looking to gain 15 points there on Blaine Keys. But Blaine Keys is actually in the points, and like we mentioned at the top of the show, has not gotten any points in this series since Milwaukee back in August. He's got an opportunity here as he currently runs in the 7th position here. As for the race lead, Nicholas Sambidio has the run to the inside of Leonard Kochmer. And speaking of Blaine Keys, Nicholas Sambidio is trying to tie Blaine Keys back again with his 32nd career win on the channel, and he's going to take the lead here on lap number 3.
Sambidio to the lead, looking to try, and like you said, tie Blaine Keys up at the top of that winch standing. All those guys towards the top of the standings just can't really seem to pull away from one another. Every time one outlasts the other, they always seem to tie back once again. But Sambidio had a rough year. Be nice to see him go to victory lane here from Atlanta, but still a long ways left to go in this race, and anything can happen. But Boston, the 46, trying to hang on there in the 2nd position. Stuart Gratton in 3rd, looking to try and make that one spot better as he's to the inside of Kochmer for the 2nd position, and Blaine Keys in the 14. He is on the move. He is not looking to replicate what has happened in these past couple of weeks. He is wanting to point. He wants to get a big points all here tonight, and right now is doing just that, as I believe he moved up into the 5th position.
Yeah, I'd give him 10 points, his first point since August, if that ended up remaining the case. Stuart Gratton, though, looks to have a very fast car to the inside of Leonard Kochmer right there. He's going to take that 2nd spot away. Got some 3-wide action. Andrew Miller slipping back in the 78. Of course, got the win last week at the Rockingham Motor Speedway. A very different racetrack than this one, even though the length of the racetracks is very similar. This is a much faster-paced racetrack than the Rockingham Motor Speedway. A lot less technical. You really have to be perfect through these corners in order to get the fastest speed, and everyone kind of runs that same speed pretty much the whole way through, so very difficult to get that differential on other drivers. And Andrew Miller kind of slipped back right there as Blaine Keys looks to have a very fast car. We have not seen Blaine run well in this series in quite some time, but here he is looking to win number 33 on his career here tonight. Assuming he didn't win Iowa last week. You can tell me that, Caleb, if you want to. I don't think he did, because you seem to imply that Sam Medeo would tie if he were to win here tonight. Isaac Nichols looking to the inside of Stuart Grattan. Leonard Kochmer looking to make a move on Grattan as well. Looks like Nichols is going to have that run there for second.
Goes to the inside there for the second position. Kochmer following in tow, and Keys in that 14. He definitely has a very fast car here tonight. He's already up here inside the top 5 and looking to try and enter this battle up here for the race lead. Kochmer to the inside of Grattan as Nichols moves up into the second position, staying side by side here through turns 3 and 4. Grattan trying to get that run that you can sometimes get on the outside lane there. Looks like he might have got a little bit, but not enough to clear that 46. They stay side by side here into 1 and 2. Meanwhile, for the lead, Nichols got a really good 1 and 2 there, and he is all over the back bumper of the 48 of Sam Medeo. See if he can maybe try and find his way around him, but right now Sam Medeo holding strong here with the race lead.
Nicholas Sam Medeo has not won on the channel. Oh boy, did he win an IndyCar race this year? Was that his win? So that was the last time he won. I can't remember which one it was.
He won at Kansas, I believe.
I think you're right, and that was the last time he went to victory lane on AG the channel. Of course, 31 in career wins. It's about a year ago when he actually won his 30th career race at Iowa in the Truck Series last year. So it has been slim pickings for him in terms of race victories the past year here on the channel, which is a bit unlike Nicholas. But we'll see what he can do. He's led the most laps so far. Isaac Nichols, though, has another idea. And Nichols going for his first win of the season. He is 10th in the standings. He's done an excellent job. He's actually found himself up front in a lot of these races as of late. And he's going to make that pass for the race lead look easy. And our third different leader of the night, it is Isaac Nichols in the 88. Blaine Keys is up to 4th, and this is exactly what Blaine needs at this point in the season. And Nicholas is going to try to get back to the inside of Isaac Nichols. You know, as these two guys got into each other, and Nelson Ledges in the Walwell Cup Series Invitational race there. And here they are battling for the race win here at Atlanta. I'm pretty sure neither of them have forgotten about that. Other drivers in the top 10 include Justin Zidell. How about LJ Semedo? Trying to get some points. Andrew Miller just on the outside looking in. Neither Ludovic Charette nor Matt Tuck or Raul Dorn have found himself in the top 10, while Blaine Keys currently runs 4th. And Blaine, who has led in the championship standings this entire season, looking to pull away in the championship going into the last 4 races of the season. The tires starting to wear out right there. Saw him check up just a little bit as Nicholas Sam Medeo takes the race lead back away. But here comes Blaine Keys in the number 14. Jack Haas is up here as well, looking for his first win of the season.
Jack Haas pretty much coming out of nowhere, except for the 10 of Thomas Troxel. Now up here inside this battle, as like you mentioned, the tires starting to wear out a little bit and probably kind of condensing these guys up. And we got kind of a little mini hornet's nest up here for the race lead as Nichols continues to slip back and Grattan gets to the inside. But this is exactly the run that Keys was probably looking for here tonight, currently running in the second position ahead of one of his main championship rivals there in the 35 of Stuart Grattan. He's also got Raul Dorn there outside of the points, having a tough night here so far, which is a tough break for him. But Keys, he's looking for more. He's looking to take the lead away as he's now side by side with the 48 of Sam Medeo going into turn number 1. Grattan looking to try and follow suit, as is Jack Haas. And he's going to poke the nose ahead here as we head down the backstretch.
And Blaine's going to clear him for the race lead here on lap number 15, but Stewart is right there. And Stuart Grattan is in a position. If he wins this race, Blaine finishes second. That's going to be a 7-point gain, and he will be, if I do the math correctly, 36 points behind going in to Coca-Cola on Wednesday, which is still very much within range to get to Blaine Keys in this championship. But if Blaine wins this race, it's going to be a pretty significant gap going into the last super speedway of the season, and that's going to play in Blaine's favor quite a bit. He has not won in this series since February at Daytona. Here he is out front, but Nicholas Samedeo, this is the best race that he has had all season in the BodyArmor Pro Series. And looking to tie Blaine Keys for the all-time wins list by passing him and beating him in this very race. How about two of the all-time winningest drivers going after it here tonight in this Georgia 100K?
This is absolutely sitting up here towards the front of the field as Samedeo gets Keys once again and takes the race lead back. That 48 is looking really, really fast here tonight, and he does not want that to go to waste. You got a lot of battling going on back here. How about Ludovic Charette in the 00? Started kind of towards the back of the field, but has made her way up here inside the top 10. Now trying to get by that 86 of Justin Zidell there for the 8th position. We got 3 wide between Nichols, Troxel, and Grattan, who almost gets into the wall there going into turn number 3. Grattan losing a couple of positions here, which is not what he wants to see, especially with Keys up there fighting for the lead. He did get passed there by the 46 of Kochmer, who's looking to try and get back up to the front of the field. But definitely seeing a very fun battle up here for this race lead as we're approaching halfway home here in the Georgia 100K.
And this race has been much more competitive than it was last year as well. Last year, Dylan Matthews led nearly every single lap. This year, we've seen a lot of different lead changes, and these guys have been going after it all night long. Of course, this year, the race is shorter, only 41 laps, so not a lot of time as we're about halfway here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And how about Jack Haas making a move on Blaine Keys right there? And Blaine might get shuffled out of line a little bit here. Here comes Isaac Nichols as well, and this may open the door for Stuart Grattan. You know, for Stuart Grattan, really all he needs to do is just gain a couple of points, and he's still very much within championship contention. And of course, Wednesday's race at Coca-Cola is going to be really one of the last wild card events. You got Martinsville and you got the Bend after that. Blaine Keys won the Wall Wall Cup Series event at the Bend last year, so that may play in his favor. But Coca-Cola is going to set up the starting lineup for those races and for Martinsville, and Martinsville will set the starting lineup then for the Bend, and then the Bend will set the starting lineup for the finale. So if you don't get a good run at Coca-Cola, don't get a fast lap at Coca-Cola, you may start deep in the field at a short track where it's hard to move up, and then hard to get a fast lap early on, and you could set yourself up to a pretty bad finish here in the series if that ends up being the case. So this race is playing in the favor of Blaine Keys right now. So we'll have to see how this ends up shaking out for him going into next week. He's second in the fastest lap right now, and we'll see if that ends up awarding him a fast lap at Coca-Cola, which will award him a fast lap at Martinsville. Isaac Nichols currently has the fastest lap here, and that would mean the pole position for the Coca-Cola 100K next Wednesday night, which we're very excited for. First time it's going to be a part of Thanksgiving 500 weekend, per se, as we got 3 wide. We're excited for this. How about Isaac Nichols going for it there on Leonard Kochmer and Nicholas Samedeo, as Stuart Grattan is now ahead of Blaine Keys here on the racetrack, and it's Isaac Nichols taking the race lead here on lap 23.
What a move there from Isaac Nichols. These tires might be wearing out, but that is not stopping that 88 machine. Like you mentioned, that's the fastest lap of the race so far, so we know that car is quick, and that was an absolute big move there out of Nichols as he now takes the race lead away. Kochmer up into second, and now Samedeo is under fire there from the 57 of Jack Haas as Keys in the 14 gets back by the 35 of Stuart Grattan. And like you said, it may just be where they place in this race right now. And speaking of placing in this race, Rogel Dorn has suddenly appeared up here inside of the top 10. He's kind of struggled deep in the field so far here tonight, but that Ford car, how about that? He's made his way up here inside the top 10. And
I think Rogel's got a very good opportunity at closing up to this pack and having a shot at finishing ahead of Blaine Keys once again and closing in the points once again. But Blaine's in a good spot right now. That's a 15-point position and ahead of all of his championship rivals at the moment. Kochmer's the closest one to him, but he's 81 points behind, and it's really going to take a lot for Kochmer to have any opportunity at this title at this point in the season. But neither Isaac Nichols or Leonard Kochmer have gone to victory lane. Neither has Thomas Troxel, who's up here now in the 4th position. Nicholas Samedeo has fallen all the way back to 7th right there. And you can tell this 4 machine of Rogel Dorn is flying. He may actually win this race at this rate. I think there's a very good opportunity for that to be the case. That 4 machine's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. You see how he's pulled away from Ludovic Charette right there. 15 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now Isaac Nichols is out front right now, but Rogel Dorn closed in about 2/10 that last lap. He's got plenty of time to find his way up front before the end of this race.
if Dorn just has a long run car or if he just absolutely locked in. But yeah, he is on absolute rails right now. Already up into 8th and just closing fast on this pack of cars ahead of him. They're kind of splitting apart just a little bit as these guys go 3 wide. Back here for the 5th position with the top 4 pulling away a little bit. But if Dorn can get up here, that would definitely be a feat within itself. But it could also show that he could very much catch up to our top 4 right now. So Dorn might just have some race-winning pace under the hood of that formation as he's already looking to try and take the battle to Troxel. Couldn't quite get there going into turn number 3, but Dorn, this might just be the race-winning car right here, but we'll have to see if he can get up towards the front.
And he is right there. Now within 1.7 seconds of the race leader. He closed up the Jack Hobbs and Thomas Troxel really quick, and he's slicing through this field. Nicholas Sambadia lost a little bit of ground there, and the top 4 pulled away. Isaac Nichols, Leonard Kochmer, Blaine Keys, and Stuart Grattan. And Stuart Grattan's the one driver that Blaine Keys, well, Blaine's going to have to worry about Rogel Dorn at the end of this race, but at the current moment, Stuart Grattan's the one that Blaine has to worry about the most because Stuart has a chance of winning this championship ahead of the 14. And Stuart very much could still finish ahead of this 14 machine. They actually tried to take 3rd away right here. Rogel still in the battle there with Thomas Troxel. Ladovic still in the top 10. Justin Zeidel holding on to the last point right now. Not a good run for Matt Tuck, who was runner-up last week. Not a good run for Andrew Miller either. Outside the points right now is the top 2 finishers last week at Rockingham. They have not found the speed here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And Rogel Dorn has made quick work of Jack House and Thomas Troxel. Now has his eyes set on Nicholas Sambadio, and then his eyes set on the 2 guys who are above him and behind him in the championship standings at the current moment. You got Blaine Keys, Rogel Dorn, Stuart Grattan, the top 3 in the championship. All 3 of them looking to get championship points here tonight. But it's our points leader who has the most points of the 3 right now. They're all led by Isaac Nichols, who is still out front with 10 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Saturday got the race lead. He's really been holding strong out there out front, and yeah, got this top 4 breakaway. They've all kind of calmed down up here towards the front. Probably the tires starting to wear out quite a bit, but I'll tell you what, they might start worrying about this 4-car Rogel Dorn. He's now past the 48 of Nicholas Sambadio, and he's got his eyes set on this top 4 with now 9 laps to go, I believe. And if he keeps that pace up, I definitely think he can catch up to this lead group. So this could definitely get very interesting here in the closing stages of this race. And just such a good drive there for the 4 Rogel Dorn. Like I said, struggled in the early stages of that race with traffic. But that thing has really come alive here on the long run as Keys might be starting to worry a little bit as he's trying to peek underneath the 46 of Leonard Kochmer.
And unable to get that to work, and Stuart Grattan went high there in the corner, trying to find some grip on the high lane, but there's not much going on up there, and Rogel Dorn's closing in fast.
There he comes.
And he is right within range to have an opportunity. Might not have a shot at the win, but if he can finish ahead of Blaine Keys, he still might not necessarily be within a race win worth of points on Wednesday, but he's going to get ever so closer to being able to take this championship lead and having an opportunity at the BodyArmor Pro Series title. And Blaine Keys, of course, I know for him, he wants to win this championship and lead in the points every single race. I don't think anyone has ever done that in a points championship on the channel before. Blaine has the opportunity at doing so, and this race is going to help him, regardless of where he ends up finishing here in this top 5. Assuming he finishes in the top 5, it's going to be his first point since August. And he may not necessarily gain on Rogel Dorn the way this is going here, but he's still going to have a lot of momentum going into the next race, and that's going to be huge in terms of trying to keep it in the crucial part of this season. Tires are really worn out now, and these guys are just hugging that inside lane, and nobody's making a mistake here in this top 5. But Rogel Dorn's right there on the back bumper of Stuart Grattan. Will he have enough to get to the inside of the 35? Not going to be able to do it quite yet. Blaine might have a shot on Leonard Kochmer. This might open the floodgates here for these guys. Stuart might have a shot here. And Rogel's going to end up having the ultimate opportunity. There he goes to the inside for the 4th position on Stuart Grattan.
Here comes Rogel looking to get past the 35 and closing up on the 14 of Blaine Keys. Might be a three-way battle here for position between our three main championship contenders. They stay side by side. Going into turns 1 and 2, Keys slips up the racetrack a little bit. That could give the bottom to Rogel-Dorn.
And Rogel's absolutely got the drive to be able to get around Blaine at this point in the race. Problem is, time is running out if he wants to get the race victory. Next time by, it's 3 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for Isaac Nichols in the number 88. He's led the most laps so far here tonight. Leonard Kochmer still there in second. Both of these drivers going for their first wins of the season. Rogel-Dorn, Blaine Keys going for their 4th wins, respectively, and Stuart Grattan going for his 2nd. You know, these guys are starting to close back in as well. Nicholas Samadeo, Jack Haas, Ludovic Charette, Matthew Hubert, and Justin Zeidel. That is your top 10. Thomas Troxel in the 10. Something happened to him. Troxel's out of this race.
Oh, no.
Engine damage on the 10 machine, and we did not catch it. Such a heartbreak there for Troxel. He's looking to get some of his first points in quite some time. Here we go. 2 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Still led by Isaac Nichols. Blaine Keys trying to gain something on Rogel-Dorn, but Rogel trying to close in ever so closer on this championship. He's right on the back bumper of Blaine Keys, and he's going to have 1 lap to be able to get around him here in this Georgia 100K. White flag in the air at Atlanta for Isaac Nichols. Will he be able to hold on and gift this race victory? There goes Rogel. He's got a nose to the inside of Blaine. He may also get Leonard Kochmer as well in the 46. And here comes Stuart Grattan trying to get something on Blaine Keys as well to close in even more on him. This is perfect for Isaac Nichols in the number 88. He's going to have enough time to hold off Rogel-Dorn. Rogel is going to take 2nd away in this race. Stewart's going to finish ahead of Blaine Keys, but it's Isaac Nichols winning the Georgia 100K. Rogel-Dorn's going to finish 2nd, Stuart Grattan's going to finish 4th, and Blaine Keys going to finish all the way back in 5th. It was just like last week when Rogel ended up passing Stuart Grattan on the last lap, took the podium spot away from him. And that's going to be an 8-point gain for Rogel-Dorn, and heading in the Coca-Cola next week, he's got an opportunity at taking the championship lead here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. What a drive from Rogel-Dorn, driving his way all the way up to 2nd to get those 18 points, and Blaine falling back to 5th, only getting 10. Stuart Grattan getting 12 points here today. He'll be 41 points behind in the championship. Isaac Nichols gets his first win of the season, and he gets the pole for the Coca-Cola 100K on Wednesday alongside Blaine Keys, with Rogel-Dorn, Justin Zeidel, and Leonard Kochmer. Kochmer will actually start in the 4th position, as he's tied there with Justin Zeidel for that spot. And Stuart Grattan will start in the 6th position for the Coca-Cola 100K. That race is going to be wild next Wednesday night leading up to the Thanksgiving 500. I know you're excited about that one, Caleb. Excited for tomorrow's race here in the Truck Series as well after what we just saw here tonight. What a fun one here as Isaac Nichols gets his first win in the BodyArmor Pro Series this season. But Rogel-Dorn is the story of this race, as he's going to close in to 23 points within Blaine Keys in this championship with 4 races left to go. If he gets the win on Wednesday and Blaine doesn't get any points, Rogel-Dorn's going to be your new championship leader here in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
Man, what a race here tonight from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Saw a lot of action here tonight, and definitely a lot of shakeups, especially there in the latter part of this race. Have to give credit there to Isaac Nichols for a great drive there. He has had such a strong campaign here in 2025 on the channel. He had a great campaign in Cup. He's having a good campaign so far in Trucks. And finally, that's his first win of the season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Nice to see that for Nichols, and yeah, just have to give a huge call to Rogel-Dorn. Didn't have the best qualifying position, fell back there on the start, kind of got stuck in traffic, but still managed to claw his way back, tooth and nail, and make his way all the way up into the 2nd position, past both Stuart Grattan and Blaine Keys. And Keys did not have the last lap that he wanted there, fell back to the 5th position, got passed by both Rogel and Stuart Grattan. So that's definitely going to make things interesting, because like you mentioned, you got Rogel now well within a race worth of points to Blaine Keys as we head into a quite the wild card race at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. So that's definitely going to be very, very interesting. But what a race here from Atlanta. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this race will go in Trucks. But This is definitely shaping up to be a fantastic close to what has been a very fun season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
No doubt about it. And the fun thing about this series is we started it all the way back in January. It's been nearly a whole year. It's going to be over 11 months that we've done this series once we get to the finale on Christmas Eve. And that's only about a month away now once we get to that. And I tell you what, we're going to have ourselves a great finale, because the way this is shaping up, especially if you get Stuart Gratton the win next week, Rogel closes in on Blaine, you might throw in a couple other drivers. I feel like Ludovic and Andrew and Matt Tuck have kind of fallen back a little bit after this one. And it might be between Blaine, Rogel, and Stewart for this title, but it's going to be close, and we're going to have a lot of fun in these last 4 races of the season. Coca-Cola, Martinsville, The Bend, and Homestead Miami Speedway. You're not going to get a final 4-race slate like that anywhere else, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to have a lot more fun here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Turkey Hill Truck Series action here in the Celsius Peach 5 200. That is what it's called, right? We didn't change that?
Yep.
Okay. I know I gave that name last year. I forgot that we kept it. Then, of course, next week, we got ourselves the Coca-Cola 100K on Wednesday night. Same night, we got ourselves the qualifiers for the Thanksgiving 500. And we're less than a week away from the 11th running of the Thanksgiving 500 next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG the channel. Caleb's going to be a part of that one. Hope to have Andrew a part of that one in the booth as well, as always. And that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun seeing who gets the Thanksgiving 500 once again. Matthew Hubert is back. First returning driver in quite some time to return to that race. And great to have Matthew Hubert. It's only Matthew Hubert and Nicholas Sambia, the only 2 past winners of that event, who are going to be running this year. But we'll see if either of them get it, or will it be somebody else. We'll just have to find out. But tune in next Thursday morning. That's the big race of the rest of the season, of course, and we're excited to see how it all goes down at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway Thanksgiving tradition here on AG the channel. Thanksgiving 500. Congratulations to Isaac Nichols for getting the race victory here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here are the point standings for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 21 races. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday night for the Coca-Cola 100K from the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. On behalf of Caleb Rose, congratulations to Isaac Nichols once again, and I will see you guys later.